Good day, I'm Morgan Nell from ACSI, and it's my privilege to have a discussion with Graham Temlett today, who is the contact person and the brain behind rolling out BTEC on behalf of Switched On in South Africa. So Graham has been involved in Christian education since 1988, and I'm going to hand over to him to just say a little bit more about himself and then tell us about BTEC. Very exciting development. Thanks, Graham.
Thank you, Morgan, and good morning to everybody. Thank you to you for this opportunity to share this exciting, what we call a new careers-focused BTEC opportunity for our South African situation. As you said, my name is Graham Temlett. I've been involved in Christian education since 1988, planted our own Christian school back in Richards Bay, the Richards Bay Christian School, and have been involved with various Christian schools since 1988. I joined SwitchedOn Education in February this year with the purpose of rolling out the BTEC program, which is a career-focused, skill-based opportunity for senior secondary-based students and learners in our environment here in South Africa. So maybe without any further ado, I'm going to present a PowerPoint. It'll just tell you a little bit more about what BTEC is all about, and then we'll have some opportunity to answer questions afterwards. So the Pearson Level 2 and 3 International BTEC is what we're speaking about this morning. I've put a picture right at the beginning of the presentation because they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. The picture is of the FNB football stadium. It hosts 90,000 people or spectators. And the reason why I've chosen the stadium, because you get an idea of what 90,000 people looks like. If I multiply that by 4, this is the challenge that we have. 90,000 times 4 is 360,000 people. That's the amount of people that drop out of school every year in South Africa. 360,000 learners. That's a huge challenge for our education system in South Africa. And then if we multiply the FNB Stadium 90,000 by 40, we get to 3.6 million people. And that's the amount of people between the age of 16 and 24 that either have a matric certificate or even a university degree or beyond, and do not have employment in South Africa. That's the unfortunate story. And that's the challenge that we have in South Africa. How do we reach these people? How do we get them an education qualification? More important, how do we get them to be employed? And so we say enter the BTEC through Pearson, and I'll tell you what that acronym stands for. We say BTEC equals employability. BTEC equals employability. Our whole schooling system in South Africa, we could say, is probably focused at one certificate, and that is the matric exemption certificate or the matric certificate. Most parents have this idea, if my child gets that matric certificate, they will automatically be employed. The previous picture that I've just shown you shows 3.6 million that are unemployed, unfortunately, but they have matric certificates and they even have university degrees. 31% of them have university degrees and are not employed. So what is the Pearson all about? We're going to go through a few slides here. Who is Pearson? What is a BTEC? What is the structure of a Level 3 International BTEC? The range and sectors of Level 2 and Level 3. What modes of delivery are recommended? The implementation, the BTEC assessment, the Pearson support, training, and how does the school get started? So let's go forward. Who is Pearson? Pearson is the world's leading learning company with 25,000 employees in more than 70 countries, working to help people of all ages to make a measurable progress in their lives through learning. And we put the learner at the center of everything we do, because wherever learning flourishes, so do people. Pearson also offers accredited qualifications and curriculum materials globally. It is the UK's largest awarding body of academic and vocational qualifications that are globally recognized and benchmarked. And even recently, this past month, has issued over 500,000 certificates on the BTEC side in October 2023. So what is BTEC? It's an acronym for Business Technology and Education Council, and should not be confused with South Africa's university BTEC degrees. This BTEC is focused at grade 10, 11, and 12 years, the senior secondary phase of South Africa. A BTEC is a high quality, I've highlighted, career-focused. It is a career-focused, skill-based qualification grounded in the real world of work. So BTEC level 3 is a vocational occupation qualification in grades 11 and 12. BTEC International level 3 is a progression to universities worldwide, and South African university entrance is possible with a combination of English and an IGCSE with grades A, B, or C level. Then it's learner-based approach with a flexible unit-based module structure and knowledge applied to assignment-based assignments, or assessments, should I say. And then lastly, it focuses on holistic development of the practical, interpersonal, and thinking skills required to be successful in employment and in higher education. So it is not just vocational, but also gives students the opportunity to apply for tertiary education institutions as well. What is the structure of a level 3 international BTEC? It's available in 5 sizes, from certificate to extended diploma. The certificate starts in grade 11. The extended diploma is what is the final exit point of the BTEC level 3 at the end of grade 12. The extended diploma is equivalent to 3 A levels. One level down is the diploma, equivalent to 2.5 A levels. A level down is the foundation diploma, equivalent to 2 A levels, and so we go down to the certificate level. Okay, and then internationally has relevant content, assessments, and projects chosen to help learner progress. The entrance requirements, effectively for level 3, it's a grade 10 equivalent. For level 2, it's a grade 9 equivalent. And then school learners complete mandatory units, or what we call modules, and choose optional units to make up the desired size or qualification. And then I've just highlighted this in red. No separate additional courses to be done. There are no bolt-on courses like Algebra 2 or English 3. This is not a standard 6 subject or 6+ subject academic grade 12 qualification. It is a 1 subject or sector or pathway, we call it, with career focus. So it's not a bolt-on to an academic course at all. While in the normal academic framework of a matric certificate, you'd have 6 or 7 or 8 academic subjects. In this particular BTEC, a level 3 student does in the order of 16 to 18 modules over 2 periods, and all these modules are focused on the career choice or pathway that they have selected. So here are some of the career pathways or sectors, we call them, at level 3. There's applied science, art and design, business, construction, creative media production, engineering, esports, hospitality, IT, land-based industries like farming, agriculture, horticulture, marketing, music, performing arts, sport, travel and tourism. If we go to level 2, which is the equivalent of grade 10, then the sectors are applied science, pretty similar to level 3 sectors, except that they have a beauty and therapy sector at this level, and they also have health and social care at this level. The rest are basically the same as level 3. And level 2 comes available in 3 or 4 sizes: award, certificate, extended certificate, and diploma. The diploma is equivalent to the GCSE certificates. All right, so we say, why choose a Pearson BTEC? Because employers are increasingly adopting the Industry 4.0 processes in innovation and development. Why choose a BTEC? Because BTEC qualifications have been developed in partnership with educators, employers, governments, and business, and are flexible for career opportunities both in higher education and employment. Why choose a BTEC? BTEC's been around for 35 years with a proven success record. More employers and higher education institutions across the globe are choosing BTEC candidates in favor of academic candidates because of their practical knowledge and employability skills. Why choose a BTEC? BTEC has reputation, a good reputation. It's career focused. Employers value BTEC students, their practical qualifications, and it does have university opportunities to progress to. And what modes of delivery are recommended for BTEC? Pearson encourages a hybrid model, which consists of direct instruction in the classroom and work environment. About 60% of their guided learning hours come from direct instruction. Investigative, research and practical work, group work, peer work, private study, e-learning, and workplace experience make up the hybrid model of delivery of the BTEC. And then how are they assessed? They are 100% assignment or demonstration assessed. There are no examinations. They are delivered and assessed in any language. They are assessed using assignments and projects, work-related, real-life scenarios. And then assignments are produced by teachers, or should I say they are compiled by teachers or provided by Pearson to meet set assignment criteria to allow for local context. And then Pearson moderates the assignment setting and the outcome. Students get a grade and for each unit, and that grade will be either a pass, a merit, or a distinction. And at the end of the qualification, students will get a final grade depending on how well they achieve in each unit. 25% of the units or modules are mandatory, which require learners to take a Pearson set assignment, and they are purely moderated by Pearson themselves. What support does Pearson offer? Pearson has a progress platform. All the administration of the learner, the teachers, the curriculum, the assignments, the assessments are all on this platform. The Progress Active Learn platform, where you'll find many of the ebooks, study texts that map with the actual specifications and curriculum of the courses. Pearson provide the curriculum plans, the delivery guides, the schemes of works, the authorized assignment briefs, examples of marked learning work, and training programs. I've just put here one example of one of the sectors, which is business. And if you have a look at business, then we have a look at the different modules or units, they call them. On this page, it goes down to 18. And if we go to the next page, it goes all the way down to 39 different units. In business, students need to do between 16 and 18 units to get a university entrance or extended diploma. If you look at the top right here, these are the different sizes at the top: certificate, subsidiary diploma, foundation diploma, diploma, and extended diploma. The M here stands for mandatory. The O represents optional. And so they have 7 mandatory units that they need to complete here on these specifications or curriculum: exploring business, research and plan a marketing campaign, business finance, managing an event, international business, business decision making, etc. And then all the other units then are made up of optional units that between the school and the students, they can determine which optional units to teach to the students. Obviously, it'll depend on teachers' qualifications. Not any one teacher, I think, can teach all 39 of these, or even 18 of the units that will make up the guided 1,080 guided learning hours for an extended diploma, all the way down to 180 guided learning hours for a certificate. So the extended diploma, as we said, and even the diploma, is studied over a period of 2 years, grade 11 and 12 years. That's for level 3. And for level 2, they've got to do 540 guided learning hours. All right, because that's 1 year. So that just gives you an idea of, and then you'll see here, this column here shows you how many guided learning hours per unit. So teachers and students will add these up to get you your total if they're going for the extended diploma of 1,080 or the diploma of 720 guided learning hours. Right, so these similar structures are set up for engineering, civil engineering and building construction. I'm not going to go through that, but they have the mandatory and optional units. Similarly in sport, I've done the sport one because we think it's quite a wonderful opportunity. Many students in our schools these days are very interested in, sorry, this is information technology. The next one is sport. I got ahead of myself, but you can get into the sport. Have a look at these topics like health and well-being, careers in sport, research projects in sport, ethics, behavior and values in sport, self-employment, business in sports, sports tourism, sports journalism, marketing communications, inclusive coaching, and so we can go on. Functional sports massage, practical sports performance, etc. So there's plenty to have a look at in these various pathways in the BTEC. Plenty of opportunity for students to choose from. Implementation. How do we go about implementing the BTEC? SwitchedOn Education, as I said before, is who I represent, is an approved and registered educational center with Pearson. Schools engage with SwitchedOn Education for the sectors they wish to start with. Learners must have completed grade 10 requirements or have the necessary required prior learning achievements for starting level 3. If they want to start at level 2, they must have the completed grade 9 requirements. And then the level 3 BTEC extended diploma runs for 2 years, as I said earlier. Schools must have qualified and experienced educators, and schools must provide and or have access to adequate facilities and resources for each sector offered. And obviously each sector or pathway has different requirements for the resources. For instance, creative media, you'll need cameras, sound equipment, videography, studios, etc. One can partner with a local service provider in the area if the school does not have the necessary tools to start out with. There are companies out there that have these tools that one can partner with. And then learners will work in class on online and dedicated platforms and will collaborate as needed and get involved in the workplace experience. We encourage the schools to network with the local companies and industry and arrange workplace experience for the students. You'll find that in the guided learning hours of 1,080, one only needs to spend basically 3 days in a classroom of 5-6 hours a day, and the other 2 days can be spent in workplace experience, in personal research for assignments, etc. So students don't need to be all 5 days or working days at school. Schools can choose how they want to set up their timetable with the learners. And schools will have assessors and internal verifiers trained by Pearson, the continuous assessment and not exam-based, as we said earlier. SwitchedOn Education experts, education practitioners will be the external verifiers here in South Africa. And then Pearson have their own standards verifiers, which do the external standards verifying for the assignments as well. And then Pearson issues the qualification, bearing the SwitchedOn name as the provider of that qualification. If we go to the next slide, what teacher training opportunities are there? Comprehensive portfolio of teacher training programs to help improve teachers' vocational and technical education pedagogy. There's active and experiential learning that takes place through Pearson, getting ready to teach the specific subjects like engineering, business, and sport. There are specific training programs from Pearson provided for this. SwitchedOn has also partnered with some of the BTEC colleges in the UK, and we have already recorded some of the training sessions that will help teachers get started this side. Then there's multiple delivery formats, face-to-face, online, and pre-recorded training sessions. There are short courses in specific teaching skills, like what is internal verification and moderation? How do we do it? How do we go about assignment writing, and obviously orientating students and learners to that assignment writing process, and then digital pedagogy as well. And then the formal certification and teaching qualifications available at levels 3, 4, and 5 with Pearson. And then, lastly, there's also online continuous professional development courses available from Pearson. All right, last but not least, how does a school get started? Schools look at the sectors or pathways they wish to offer in their school. We say don't start with all of them, maybe start with 1 or 2 or 3 at maximum in the first year, and then the school can build on that depending on the needs of the learners in your community, and obviously what business and industry the community offers as well. Determine which sectors and BTEC levels would be realistic for your school to offer in January 24, 25, and the learner numbers per sector. Attend training arranged through SwitchedOn Education. Commence hosting community BTEC information evenings, probably 3 to 6 months before you're ready to launch the BTEC program. Plan and budget for all the resources required, or what partners you will need to present the different sectors you want to present. When you're ready, invite a SwitchedOn representative to confirm the school's readiness. Make an application with SwitchedOn Education to register your school, and we always say sooner rather than later. And that's basically the BTEC in a nutshell. I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions, but I'm open to answer a few of those questions. Thanks, Morgan.
Wow, Graham, thanks so much. I think the picture that stuck in my mind was that FNB Stadium picture and how you multiplied it out to show us visibly the situation we are in. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Let's start with evidence. When was BTEC introduced in South Africa, and are there any local schools that are already running with BTEC?
So BTEC is pretty new in South Africa. We started at the beginning of this year with one of the ACSI schools in Brits, Raboni Christian School. They basically our pilot school for this year, and their principal and teachers can bear testimony of the excitement that the learners have in implementing the BTEC. So yeah, relatively new in South Africa, but pretty much, as I mentioned earlier, about 35 years already in the UK and becoming more and more popular. I was saying to somebody just the other day and speaking to the colleges in the UK that the amount of learners on BTEC are now exceeding the amount of learners on the A-level, the pure A-level academic courses. So it's definitely a highly popular educational program that's hit Europe, and we want to introduce it in South Africa to meet the needs, the specific needs, as I mentioned before. Yeah.
Wow. So I also know that they are open to receive visitors by appointment, but they're very proud of the BTEC that they've embarked on in a pioneering fashion.
Yeah.
Another question that comes to mind, and this is more school-based, what are the basic human resources requirements that a school needs to introduce BTEC? I know that you supply teacher training, but if you're an existing school, you've got teachers, how would you go about that? What advice would you give a school?
Yeah, so we'd say that the school obviously needs to have qualified teachers. Pearson, when a school applies to offer any Pearson BTEC courses, Pearson would want to check the qualifications of the teachers and the experience of the teachers with specific reference to the sector or pathway that the school wants to provide. So all we'll say is that the qualifications that teachers do have, whether it's in science or business or engineering, IT, most schools will have the qualified teachers or can employ readily the qualified teachers. I think it's just a mindset change as to how do we teach. there is definitely a different way of teaching the BTEC, the career-focused BTEC, to what it is teaching an academic matric. And so, yeah, there is training available for the teachers just to show them. We have prepared orientation manuals for new teachers in the BTEC sector or space, and just to prepare teachers and how to orientate themselves in adjusting to presenting BTEC. Yeah.
And then staying with the school aspect, what would the technological requirements be? What would a school need to have in place?
Yeah.
So I do realize you've got different options, civil engineering, etc. But if a school chooses, what would you say is the middle of the road basic requirements for a school?
Yeah. Okay. So I think for all the sectors, every student would need to have their own laptop, and the school obviously will need to have a setup, classrooms, a classroom setup with computers and servers, etc. Because a lot of the work that students do will be research and investigative work, and obviously to do that you need a laptop and access to the global web as well. So that would apply to all sectors. Obviously, when you get to specific sectors like engineering, if they're going to do civil engineering, they would maybe need to have survey instruments like a theodolite or dumpy level and so on. But again, they can partner with a construction company that has these resources available. As I said earlier, if they want to go creative media, they can partner with a studio in the community that's already doing it, and use their cameras, videography, their backdrops, etc., to their recording, recording technology, etc., and then build up over the years with their community. If it's IT, I think it's basically computers and you're away. If it's business, it's basically ebooks and computers as well. So obviously each sector, if you're going to applied science, you're going to need a science lab. If you're going to hospitality, you're going to need obviously kitchens and etc. for cooking. So yeah, obviously different sectors will require different resources.
So basically, the school would have to do some market research. What do they have and what aligns in the BTEC curriculum? What businesses are prevalent, for example, in their area? If you're in Johannesburg, there are many sound engineers. So whereas if you in the rural areas, so what I'm hearing is look at what is around your school and make your decision according to that. That brings me to the next question. If a school were to embark on this journey, what would the minimum group size be in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Morgan. We'd say for BTEC class, and I suppose for any, whether it's an academic class or BTEC class, we would say a minimum of 10 to 15 students per sector, because obviously it's a case of economies of scale. And those schools will employ one teacher just to teach one student, unless it's a really, really special situation, and sponsorships are gained from investors or the community. But to make it financially viable, I think for the school and effective for the learners, we'd say a minimum of 10 to 15 learners per sector to get started. So there is a bit of groundwork to do, promotions with parents, letting parents understand what it's about. But yeah, once you get started, you'll find the classes will grow from 10 to 15 to 20, but we say 10 is a minimum size. It gets a little bit more costly if you go below 10 students per class.
So in one of your slides, you mentioned the 6 months before the time, and now I can see why that would be important. Do your homework, get all your ducks in a row, and do your research so that you can get your parents on board and then get those enrollments. So that makes sense. I think another question would be the cost. How would the costing work out? Is there a license fee, enrollment fee?
Oh, so there's with Pearson, there's a learner registration fee and there's a school registration fee. So SwitchedOn themselves become the registered center with Pearson, and then the schools will register with SwitchedOn. There's a once-off registration fee of $375 for schools to register with SwitchedOn and Pearson. And then for the students, if you have a class of 10 students or more, you're looking in the order of $450 to $500 per student per year. So that's probably, if you multiply that by 18, yeah, then you're looking at maybe 9,000 Rand a year, which boils down to about 750 Rand a month for the Pearson BTEC. Yeah.
And then that first fee you mentioned, the registration fee, that is for the school, and that's where it makes sense to have a minimum of 10 learners, so that amount can be divided, because that's not a per student fee, that's a school fee.
And that's correct. That's a once-off. Once-off, and once they registered with SwitchedOn and Pearson, they registered and can take in students from year to year from there. And obviously the learner registration fees are an annual fee. Yeah, that gives them access to all the Pearson support structures that I listed on that PowerPoint. Yeah, in terms of training, learning materials, etc. Yeah.
So I'm sure that those that are watching this podcast will have other and perhaps more questions. If somebody is interested, what do you suggest, Graham?
Yeah, feel free just to contact me. I'm happy to follow up. We can do an online meeting together. I can visit the school. Just depends where you're at. But feel free to contact me. I can give my contact details in terms of my email address and my phone number.
I think let's start with the email address, and then ACSI office, if they miss the email address, they can always contact our office to get your details. But for now, just your email address.
Yeah, so email address is grahametemlet@switchedoneducation.co.za. Yeah.
Okay, and that's Graham Temlet, one word. Temlet will have 2 T's. But if you missed that, just contact our office and we can put you into contact with Graham. So Graham, I want to thank you. You've really switched on my thinking around BTEC and the need for that. Really appreciate your time, and we pray that this venture will just grow from strength to strength and empty out those FNB stadiums in our country.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, Morgan and ACSI. And God bless everybody as God's called us to educate young people. Our country's got a huge need for employment. And our young people out there have a huge need to get a qualification that they can make them employable. And we definitely believe this is one of the solutions that can assist our young people. So God bless everybody. Feel free to contact me, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Graham. Have a good one.
Thank you.